Hi Booktube and happy Friday. I'm coming to you on a very rainy day. It's been raining the last 2 days and it's flooding everywhere, all the sidewalks and everything. So needless to say, I'm going to be having a weekend here at home. I do not want to be out driving in all this mess. So I have quite the number of books to share with you, and they're all books I'm currently reading. I was watching The Paper Traveler and also Gina Stainer. She did, both of them were talking about their love of physical books a couple of weeks ago, and it was just on my mind because I have a number of books on the go. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that with you because, as I mentioned in my March TBR, I'm participating in all the readathons, and just watching BookTube over the last couple of days has made me just like itchy for wanting to read everything. I can't read everything, but I want to, and I know a lot of you share, and any reader I feel like shares that feeling of just wanting to get to everything and just not having enough time. But I do have a weekend booked, fully booked with reading plans, so I'm hoping to make some headway. So let's get into what I am reading. A book that I was reading last month in February is The Man in the Dark by Susan Scarlett. I was reading this for the retro romance readathon, and I only read this like the very last day of the month, so I didn't have time to finish it, and I've just been having this book on hold ever since because I wanted to dabble and make some headway in all the readathons, the middle grade March and March of the Mammoths and March Mystery Madness. So this has been on hold, but I do want to finish this. That way it's just not lingering on my shelves too long. I might not finish this weekend because, like I said, I have quite a variety of books that I want to get to, and I want to read them all, but there's only 24 hours in a day. But this is The Man in the Dark, and Susan Scarlett is the pen name for Noel Streatfeild, which is the children's author for like the ballet shoes, the dancing shoes, and all of those. But this is taking place, they all took place in the 1940s when they were written. And this is about a woman who gets hired as like a caretaker in a way, or a live-in, like a live-in, like a live-in caretaker for a young girl who gets sent unexpectedly to a man's house, her uncle, I think, and he is recently blind and very discouraged with the world, and so he's kind of like he's shut in and doesn't want to be bothered. So he does not want to be bothered taking care of this young girl, so he hires someone to look after her, and so that's where the main character comes in. And so she's taking care of the child, but she also is trying to cheer him up. And like I mentioned, I feel like my TBR video, all those Susan Scarlett books were written during the World War II time frame, and so they were published during that time as well, and so they're all like trying to be a little bit uplifting. Like, you know, there's some dark moments, but it's all about like how do you find the light in those trying times. So I'm gonna read this one, and I'm about, I want to say, like 25% of the way through, so I need to read some more of this. And so let's see, another book I'm in the middle of, because I like get through the ebooks first. Miss Julia's Marvelous Makeover by Anne B. Ross, and it's a very fuzzy cover. It might not look fuzzy to you, but up close it is. But this is, I can't remember, book 10 or 12, somewhere in the middle of this series, and it's the Miss Julia series. And these all take place in small town North Carolina in the mountains near Asheville, and this also where the author herself lived. And this is an ongoing series for me. I started reading the series a number of years ago, and I've been slowly like savoring the series because I really like, it's like one of those like a small town where you really get to know the characters, and you really focus on like the character's journey. And Miss Julia, she's an older lady, and she's very like proper and well-mannered, and wants everyone to be the same, you know, when you're going to your local tea and the church services and all of that. You want to be well behaved, and so she comes across, the books come across as like being written in the 1950s, but it wasn't until a couple of books ago that I realized, no, these are kind of current day. And so but they don't read like that, how the main character acts. But this is about, she unexpectedly gets a letter from a distant cousin that her granddaughter is being sent to Miss Julia's house because they grew up in this like this poor farm country. So I need my granddaughter to be shown the proper way of doing things, and so here you go. And like with no notice, then here she is showing up at the train station, and they both, the granddaughter and Miss Julia, don't want to be there, but they're stuck because when the grandmother sent the granddaughter, she left. So they moved out of their house, and so there's no address to return the granddaughter to. And so even though those two are stuck together, now they're going to, she's going to work on, slowly work on actually fulfilling what the grandmother wants of refining the young lady, like, fixing her hair and wearing the right clothes and how to act and how to eat and things like that. And so yeah, these are like funny, like small town charming books. Okay, so the audiobook I'm listening to, and I didn't write down the narrator's name, the audiobook narrator, but this is Sweet Home Alaska by Carol S.B. Dagg. And I wanted to have like my audiobooks for this month mainly be middle grade fiction, because I have, for the mystery books, I have a hard time following the mystery of following like the whodunit, but middle grade I can easily follow along with audiobooks. And so this is taking place during the 1930s, where the New Deal was happening, and there was a deal passed for small town Alaska, Palmer, Alaska, where you can move and farm the land there, like outside of Anchorage. And so this family uproots themselves from Wisconsin and are moving to Palmer, Alaska, and it's just all about like cultivating the land, and most is following the main character, where she is getting used to going to school and the new kids there and things like that. And but all the while, like the backdrop of Alaska, where right now it's summer and they're just getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And so yeah, it's a nice, like, charming, quick audiobook. So those are my digital books. And then as far as the physical books, I have quite a few. Like, if you talked to me like the day before, I had to get several more on the go, but I've finished a couple, so I don't have as many as I did have, but I had 2 or 3 other ones before this. But there's Kate's book by Mary Frances Shura. And this takes place in the 1840s, where they are moving, the family's moving from Ohio to Oregon, and so it's like the Oregon Trail story, and she has to leave all her friends behind, and so now she's making friends with this Tildy, who is kind of like very rough and independent, because she's had to be, her mom has left, and so she's having to defend for herself with having a bunch of older brothers. And so she knows a lot about what's expected on the trail, whereas Kate does not. And so it's kind of like an older sister in a way, even though they're the same age. And so it's one of those like growing up and Western Oregon Trail stories. And so enjoying this, and I am almost done with it. Because it's a physical book, I can show you where I'm at. So I have like this much left. So maybe like 25, 30 pages or so. So I'm going to fly right through these. And yeah, like I mentioned before, with the Apple paperbacks, I always pick these up if I see them at little free libraries, because they're fun to read and revisit, like childhood books. And then a book that I have, same as the Susan Scarlett book, where it's like been ongoing for a number of weeks. This one has been ongoing, I feel like, since January. This is A Reader's Delight by Noel Perrin, and I read several of his Vermont farming books. It's like first person rural, second person rural. There's a whole series called that. But I saw this book at my local bookstore, and I recognized the author's name, so I wanted to give it a go. But this is all a collection of essays of him picking like a well-known author like Leo Tolstoy, something like that, and then picking a much less known books, like, instead of like War and Peace or Anna Karenina, he's recommending like this unknown novella or something like that, that kind of idea. So while you could recognize a lot of the names in this collection, he's gonna give you these like offshoot of books. And this was published by the University Press of New England, but I think he also, he's an English professor at Dartmouth. And so I just thought it'd be interesting to see what he has to recommend. And so I am on page 100, exactly page 100. And so and so I've been reading this since like Christmas time or so, because I have a Christmas bookmark in here. So I have, how much left to go? Until a little bit past page 200. So yeah, I have 100 pages left. So I'm not gonna finish this this weekend, but I'm like, it's one of these like books I have ongoing on my nightstand over here. And so I want to read at least a story or an essay a day. Not exactly happening. I haven't been picking it up because I have so many other books on the go. But yeah, I wanted to mention these books because some of them I don't think I've talked about at all recently. So bring them to your attention as well as mine. And then I'm also reading Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 5 in the Stormlight Archive. and I am this much. I am on page, what, 86 out of like 1,300 something. And I'm trying to read like 2 chapters a day. That is not gonna get me much through this book. I feel like if I keep doing that, because this is my mammoth fix, a book that's over 800 pages, and it's a doorstopper of a book, because again, for March of the Mammoths, you don't have to finish the book, but I would like to finish it, because I also want to read. Oh, I'm knocking things over. I also want to at least start the Margaret Mitchell sequel, Scarlet. But yeah, we'll see how things go. So these are my priority books. So there's these and a couple of the digital books. And if I manage to at least finish Kate's book and the Miss Julia book, then I want to move on to like one middle grade and one mystery book. So we have for the middle grade, I have the Broccoli Tapes by Jan Slepian. And this title gets me. But it says, Sarah has 2 best friends, a cat named Broccoli and a diary on tape. And so Sarah's back home in Boston, and she fit in, she has friends, and then her family moves to Hawaii. Okay, so then she's like, being uprooted. So same kind of thing with this book, actually. So, where she's left with just a diary and her cat to be friends with. So, we'll see what I think of this one. It has a bunch of star reviews, actually, on the back here. Like a book list and School Library Journal and Kirkus all are giving it star ratings, so it must be really good. And then for the mystery, I wanted to read a Tomes and Tea mystery, Murder Marks the Page by Karen Rose Smith. And I remember this is a spinoff for the author's Daisy's Tea Garden Mysteries. I've never read them, but Murder Marks the Spot. Where is that in this? Murder Marks the Page. Let's see. Oh no, sorry. There's a Caprice DeLuca mystery, Daisy's Tea Garden mysteries, and these are Tomes and Tea mysteries. And so I think this is book 1. Oh, it's listed here. But I've never heard of this author or any of these series. But it's the sequel to the Daisy Tea Garden mysteries. It's a spinoff. So yeah, we'll see what I think. And this is about Daisy's daughter, Jazzy, who has her own book and tea shop in rural New York. It says she's not only inherited her mother's gift for brewing tasty drinks, she also has a nose for sniffing out murder. So yeah, looking forward to this one as well. And so those are my reading plans for this weekend. I know I'm not gonna get to where I wanna be by Monday, but I'm gonna enjoy the experience nonetheless. And I think that's what matters most. It's not the number of books you finish or read, but the enjoyment of them. So yeah, let me know if what your reading plans are, and if you've ever heard of this author. I'm curious. But yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.